coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
Alpha is $10,500 richer. Two-time NASCAR. This is your 2013 NASCAR iRacing. It's going to be Humpy winning the race, and it's going to be Conti taking away his first NASCAR
2017 NASCAR Beginner Series Championship to Ryan Luza. Young fella is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Beginner iRacing Series.
Don't give us none of your aggravations. We had it with your discipline. Saturday night's all right for fighting. get a little action in. Presented by the Cruise Shop. Get about as oiled as a diesel train because it's time for the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series, Round 4 from USA Speedway. With 3 races in the book and no repeat race winner, topped off with a 19th in the points, Kurt Smith slated to regrid on the pole. Watch as some may use a little muscle to get what they need right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Are you ready for some SK Modified Short Track Racing? Hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast as we bring you just that. Bill Soup's on, along with a man who looks cute in his braces and boots, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Joe Peak has director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Sean, thanks to some creative scheduling from the series organizers and the immortality offered in the iRacing virtual universe, we get to visit a great racetrack. Tell us a little bit about this Twilight venue.
Well, Soup, you know, in 2007, sometime around May, things got a little dark here in Polk County, and well, the Speedway was sold. And by 2008, August of 2008, they were having an auction, selling everything off. And sometime around 2010, they demolished the grandstand, and hopes of what was to be a commercial development here never came to fruition. And now it sits an empty lot, but not here at iRacing, buddy. Yes, Lakeland, Florida, here in the United States of America, this 14-degree, 3/4-mile layout was a classic, and it was awful fast. The home of front row Joe Nemechek. And boy, he turned a lot of laps here, but you know, the unfortunate passing of the founder and president of Hooters left the series, the Hooters series, kind of defunct, and they went away, and so did sponsorship here at the track, and so did the track. But the best way to relive some good old memories here is to hop on board the GSRC SK Modified for a lap around USA Speedway.
Hello, this is L. Bryce Whitson Jr. coming to you live from the Global SimRacing Channel SK Modified here at the USA International Speedway. So we're going to come off the pit road here, get up on the back stretch, and your goal here is to almost clip this corner, dive down in, and get ready to get your run to go for qualifying. You're going to get on it hard, drift up to the outside wall, and here we go for our green flag lap. When we get to this light, we're going to just squeeze the brake just a hair, come right down to that yellow line, and come right back up off as hard as you can. Again, on this backstretch, we're going to almost clip this little entrance, come down here into turn 3 and 4, again, squeezing a little bit of brake, and then drive up off hard. And that's going to take you for a qualifying lap around this track. Now, as the tires wear, you're going to have to back up those corners just a little bit, and you're going to have to wait on it to get back in the gas. What you're going to find is that this track is going to really eat those tires, and you're going to quickly lose about 1 to 2 tenths a lap, and by the end of a run you're going to be somewhere around a half a second slow. With regards to that, a run around this track is going to be somewhere around 130 to 135 laps before you're going to need gas, but again, like a lot of these short tracks, you're going to want tires before then. Now we're going to chalk it down going into 3 here, get down on the apron and make a quick pit stop. So here we go. You really got to get down on the apron going into 3 and 4 to make a quality pit stop here. Come in the pits, down this long pit road, and we'll get done for the day. So that's a lap or 2 around the USA International Speedway and the SK Modified.
Race fans, that is a couple of bad fast laps around USA International Speedway. But everyone, let me tell you here something. Tonight on this broadcast, every broadcast this season, Out Guide, as well as everything we do here, is sponsored by the Cruise Shop. The Cruise Shop has been in operation since 1986. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resort, escorted tours, Disney vacations, family travel, group vacations, honeymoons, and weddings. Yeah, weddings too. We would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. So you want to call them today Do that by dialing 260-755-6125 or visit their glorious website, thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop, dedicated to fulfilling clients' dreams one destination at a time. Soup?
I'm going to give you the point standings one driver at a time. Let's start with the guy up on top. That's Joshua Banks. Now, coming off a round 3 win last time at Martinsville, Banks is up 4 points on the multi-time champion. That's J.R. Shepard, who is still winless this season. Now, a 1-2 Martinsville result will regrid both Banks and Shepard deep in the field, a few spots behind round 2 winner of Nick Zochner. Hey, how about a 9th at Martinsville will place Donnie Moore near the front of the pack, and that, in my opinion, makes that series veteran the odds-on favorite for the win here in Florida. Brian Dean rounds out the overlay in 5th, 13 points out of the lead. Still early days in the season, but it has been exciting so far. I think we're going to find ourselves getting our 4th different winner here this race, Sean. Hey, talk about the race. Things are a little different than normal in this Outlaw Modified Series tonight.
Right, and we had a couple of new changes to the season. One of them is that now we invert the top 12, not the top 10, as we've done in previous seasons. But this is the rotation week, round 4. Every round 4 this year in 2019 will be a rotation week. Those rotation weeks will be on bigger tracks where we'll only run 80-lap races. Now, this is the 3/4 mile track, not comparable to Richmond in dimensionally, but in size, 3/4 of a mile. So, or in length, I should say. All right. So, anyway, what you also need to know is they're not allowed to take any tires. All right. Now, Lowell and the admins here have given everybody instructions on how you can avoid having that happen accidentally. So they've all adjusted their files, so that'll work and nobody will have their tires changed. But the important thing to know is this is the iRacing setup, the setup of what we call the fixed setup that iRacing provides as part of the product that they sell you there when you purchase one of those SK Modifieds. Now, the repairs, well, you get one chance. You get a spare car. If you have damage that won't let you continue through this race, you get to pull that spare car off the trailer, get it on the track, and get back in the race. But you only get one opportunity to do that. You won't need any fuel, so you don't have to worry about managing it. You can make 100 laps in this car. The tires, Soup, that's what we'll have to concern ourselves with here tonight. High banked, 3/4 mile speedway, very, very fast. Lap times coming in the low to mid 20-second range. Super fast for 3/4 mile.
Yeah, I wonder if the dynamic of the racing is going to change with the longer straights. And while we talked about the tires, but there's only 80 laps, so I guess in theory they're only, what would that be, times 4? That's 320 corners instead of a normal 400 that they have to do on a 100-lap race. Be interesting to see if the dynamic of the race changes at all.
It might, but I think the faster entry into these turns come at a cost on the tires, especially that right rear tire. But we'll see. Listen, what we know is different about this car is it likes to run a little bit higher up the track than it did previously. So, what does that mean? Well, it'll be a little bit of follow leader early, but you may see a couple cars try to step out, make that move around the outside. Why? Because they can now. Back in Season 3 of 2018, they made some changes to the geometrics of the SK Modified, kind of brought it a little bit more up to date. And Soup, it's a better driving, better handling car now than it was previously. Now, if you get that thing up in the wall and you knock that right front out of tow, well, then you've got a bear on your hands, and nobody likes to fight the bear, do they, Soup?
Sometimes the bear wins you. What's the phrase when? Sometimes you get the bear. I don't know. Watching my can't remember from my Big Lebowski. It's in there sometime. Hey, a nice field today, about 22 drivers. Some names that are back here. Matt Shanowski, who missed last round. Now he's registered to race. Is he out there? Yeah, he's turning in a lap right now in the 00. Previous race winner.
Yeah, Matt's here, but Tim's not, and is he? Okay, is Tim there? Yeah, he is there. Okay, all right. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Tim's sitting in the pit.
You know what's funny is to listen to them get into a Yo Mama battle. I always like it when the brothers do that. It seems kind of self-defeating, but
Soup, look at this modified field. We got 24 cars ready to roll off here in just under 5 minutes and get some SK modified action going here on a Saturday night.
bigger tracks, and that's a good time for some big cars. A lot of familiar names are back. J.R. Shepard, fastest in practice. He'll be starting from 11th, assuming that all the drivers that finished ahead of him, or I guess behind him in the last race, show up for this one.
I see Dwayne Burns is here. He made the trip up from Australia and is with us right now, 14th quick in practice suit. As we know, we've come to learn there about Dwayne. It's lunchtime over there, so he's comfy. He's ready to race. When I say lunchtime, I mean lunchtime on Sunday. Hello, Sunday.
What's he having there? Something like a Vegemite sandwich, probably?
No, it's so cliche, so 80s. No, they don't do that anymore. No, they eat like us, Soup.
I'm all about the cliche, man.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Hey, what a GSRC zone here in the 04 out here. Taylor Burris making an appearance today.
Yeah, you know, Taylor finally getting an opportunity to race. He's been eligible to run since the beginning of the season, and this is the first opportunity he's had a chance to get the 04 out there. We're happy to see him on track, and we wish him the best. Hopefully he gets a good run right now. He's P13 in practice, so not too bad sitting in the middle of the field right now. Right there with Ernie Brown, actually. Ernie just behind him in practice. Our old buddy Ernie is right there in the middle of the field. So, yeah, Taylor in a good spot at the moment.
Fan favorite Ernie Brown in the number 2 car. We got the Atlantic City over and under for him again. Sets at 14.5 one more time, so plenty of time to get that bet down.
You let me get up and run. I was going to say, you let me get up and run to the window real quick. I'll get that bet in.
That one should be a good one today. I'm excited here with this new venue. This should be good. There's Kurt Smith. He's going to be sitting on the pole. A lot of pressure on that young man.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Kurt's going to be okay. That's an awful fast modified. That SK, that Napa Auto Parts SK modified Soup, definitely fast week in, week out. He's a victim sometimes. Maybe he's got a chance here to do something special this evening from the pole. We'll see.
So you're saying his 19th in the points may be a little misleading. He's faster than his point standings would indicate.
I really think he is faster than that 19th in the standings indicates. I really believe that about Kurt. Yep.
There's Brian Den. He is our fastest practicer right now. He had 16th fastest. Sorry, that's very different from what I just said. Coming up a third place finish last time out, so he'll be back in the pack just ahead of those two guys that we talked about. Yeah.
If he was listening to the broadcast, which he shouldn't be doing that while he's driving, but I just imagine him sitting behind the wheel thinking, wow, where did I just find all that speed at?
He's disappointed, isn't he? Sorry.
Yes,
you look at the top two. Oh, my goodness, Sean, you talk about J.R. Shepard and Joshua Banks. Gap between them, I can't even do the math. What is that? 0.659, 0.660?
That's 1/1000th of a second, Sue.
That's a blink of an eye.
No, that's less than a blink of an eye, Soup, I think.
How about James Lowe in the 99? He's in the pits right now. He's sitting third in practice. That's somebody to keep an eye on. Look at that line of cars. A lot of confident drivers in there saying, we're ready to go. Let's get the racing going, they're saying.
I think it's amazing how they can all park it perfectly in a line like that, Soup. That's that takes a lot of skill.
If only they could race that straight.
Yes.
All right. Practice is done. That means we can go to the grid and tell you how this is going to set up here. 80 laps of racing on tap. No tires. Sean talked about it. As soon as iRacing populates the grid, we'll give it to you right now. This should be a good one. On the front row, he finished in 12th position last time out. It's Kurt Smith on the pole. He's going to be flanked by Mark Herzog. Sean?
All right, Soup, and then we're going to go to row 2. It's going to be Mike Allen, the Virginia native, sitting there on the inside, and the number 59 outside of him is going to be Donnie Moore. Him and his Patriots going to the Super Bowl there in the number 26.
Robbie Robinson in the 5th position. He's going to be inside of Chris Fassini.
And Soup, we're going to go down to row 3, and that's where you're going to find, row 4. That's where you're going to find Nick Zotner and Chris Forster.
Tijuana McGuire in the number 9 spot. He's going to be inside of Brian Dean in 10th.
Row 6, the champ is here. The number 98, J.R. Shepard, sitting right next to the number 36, Joshua Banks.
Justin Allen and Kenny Kibbe make up the next row.
All right, and then we go to row 8. Ernie Brown in at number 2. Frankenstein SK Modified right next to the 87. Todd Liston starting 16th tonight.
He won the season opener. We're talking about Matt Shanowski. He is back in 17th right now. Dwayne Burns flanks him in 18th.
All right, Soup, and then row 10 going to be Dustin Powers and James Lowe.
The aforementioned Taylor Burris in the blackjack position. Matt's brother, Tim Shanowski, in the double duck spot.
And the last row going to be filled by John Hine at number 21. Will start 23rd. And the boss, Lowell Jewell, in number 3. Last, 24th for him. And a lot of work to do. Here we go, Soup.
What's Lowell doing back there? Okay. The first pace lap is done. We're going to go around one more time here on this 3/4 mile racetrack. It is the number 6, Kurt Smith, up in front. Boy, his heart must be pounding. Always important, the big difference between finishing in 12th position and 13th position is that pole position, and that's what Kurt Smith has right now. Mark Herzog is going to be outside of him. Let's see which line works here early on, if it's going to be the inside or the outside. That 57 going to try to get down. That's the preferred line. Little banging going on behind us.
Yeah.
Up.
The accordion's already out. Can you hear the polka, Soup?
Pa. They come around corner number 4. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler. Hi-de-ho! And my goodness, the 57 of Herzog did not get going. But he's going to be able to duck down into corner number 1 and fend off that second position side by side. On the top side is the familiar car.
We got a spinner at the back.
Donnie Moore.
Couple cars in the wall, Soup.
The 07 involved in it.
Yeah, Tim Shanowski, Dustin Powers are going to get hooked up on track, Soup. We've got a GSRC replay for you right here.
Shanowski on the top side and Powers on the low side. They get together.
I'm afraid Powers drifts up the track just a little bit, Soup. Still got those cold tires, and you see him come up the middle of the track. He's going to make that little bit of contact, wheel to wheel, with Tim Shanowski. They both wind up in the wall, both with broken race cars.
Everybody else managed to get by, I think, including tail end Charlie. Lowell Jewell back there was able to get around in the number 3. So did we get a whole lap in? I don't think so. That
we
happened
did.
on
No,
lap
we
1.
did.
Okay.
We got one in. Not the start we were looking for, but definitely the start we got, Soup. So we'll re-rack him. Kurt Smith, a good enough start to hang on.
Well, let's talk about the re-rack a little bit. Donnie Morris gridded in the 4th position to start this race. That's on the outside. He was able to get around Mike Allen. So that's good news. And it's also good news for Donnie because now it puts him in an odd position up into the 3rd spot. And based on the start that I saw from Mark Herzog in the 57, Moore's got to be licking his chops thinking I could get him if he's going to do another start like the last one. Herzog really did not get going. Or maybe it's just in contrast to how good a start Kurt Smith has. Hey, well, how about Kurt out in front there? Hang on.
You know what, Soup? And I hope that's the case, because if Mark doesn't get with it on this restart, he might get run over. Them cars behind him there, Mike Allen, Donnie Moore, are not playing around. Mark been pretty busy here lately. Soup, of course, one of our competitors in the major series with that Alliance Racing team.
Let's take this opportunity to check in on our points leaders. J.R. Shepard has worked his way up into 9th, 2 spots ahead of Joshua Banks, who is still kind of struggling back there in 11th. There's that familiar number blue 98, and there's Joshua.
Well, nobody really had a chance yet to get anything going, Soup, here. I think this restart will be very, very important. Might even be a sign of things to come for the night. I'm thinking if we can keep it green for a little while, we might be in good shape, but man, if we draw another caution here quick, we could be in for Caution Fest. I hope not. Let's get ready, buddy.
No. We're going to be positive thinking. We don't have any self-fulfilling prophecies going on here. All right, Kurt Smith. We talked about the nerves, the butterflies that must be in the number 9 stomach. He's doing well so far. He's got the familiar number 57 flanked to the outside. The beautiful Medenda Mendez driving the pace car tucks that in, and we're going to put the power now to Kurt Smith. They come out of 4. Another good jump for the 9, and another bad jump from Herzog. And sure enough, there to capitalize is Donnie Moore as he gets 2nd position. Looking to the inside is Mike Allen. Sean talked about it. If you don't start good, they're going to get you. Allen gets it around. Herzog saves it.
Oh, and they're spinning behind him, Soup, and now it's going to bring out the caution in the middle of the backstretch.
They just ran out of tarmac to put the 3 wide. It was 3 wide coming up on Herzog, who had saved the car, but basically had parked it on the inside. And then it turned into an octopus putting on his socks. Things going everywhere. Can't tell what's going on. One
Poor
car
Dwayne.
on his lid.
Yeah, it's Dwayne Burns.
Oh, it's Dwayne Burns.
Yeah, Ernie was moving over to try and avoid the carnage, and he tips Burns, and then Burns winds up on his lid. But here's the melee from above. Just a mess there. A lot of good cars too early in this race torn up.
That's what happens when the cars in 3rd and 4th get together on a restart. There's a lot of guys coming. Great save, though, from Herzog. It'll cost him. It'll mean nothing as he ends up back to back. Look at that. There's Brian Dean sitting 5th in your points. But don't fret. Don't fret. Because there's the wonderful fast repair that they can go in and get that spare car.
On board with Taylor Burris right here, and he just snakes his way through that, nicks it up a little bit. Maybe not. No, he had pretty good damage on that. You see the wheels not looking right on the front end of that car.
So we're gonna have a lot of action in pit lane now.
Yeah, they're trailers are being emptied right now, getting the spare car off the top level.
Well, let's talk about the driver in 4th, Chris Bassini, up 2 spots, with Herzog falling out of the way and him able to get around Robbie Robinson. He's moved up to 4th, but the bad news is he'll be on the outside.
Bassini back in that red, white, and black Eastport Feeds SK Modified.
Check in one more time on our 2-point leaders. How are they doing? Well, J.R. Shepard now up to 6th. My goodness, not taking them long to get there. Right behind him, Joshua Banks. And again, Sean, we've talked about it, but a caution fest is really not what Banks and Shepard need. They need some green flag racing so they can pick up some spots.
Yeah. You know what? And the only guy that's ever a fan of this type of racing is the guy that's in the lead, as long as he's good on restarts, right? So he's happy to stay with that scenario all night. He stays at the front. Nobody can challenge him when you're only getting 1 or 2 laps in at a time. But no, they'll get to racing here. Honestly, practice in a limited late model race just before this, won by which one of the Allens was it? Was it Mike who won the race, or Justin? I'm sorry, Justin won the limited late model race here just earlier. And Soup, it was a pretty clean affair. They didn't have a lot of cautions. They ran a pretty good race, and I was pretty wide open most of the time. A little surprised at the shaky start we've seen so far.
Well, we're just getting the things settled here. We've seen this before. Sometimes it's a little sloppy early on, and then they can run. Who knows? We could run the next what would it be, 69 laps here, all under green. Working lap number 11 right now of 80. Well, let's see what old Donnie Moore has in store for Kurt Smith this time. A little bit of a love tap there from Mike Allen. Kurt Smith saying, get going. Well, Kurt's a little slower getting going this time. Boy, he took him all the way around. Nevertheless, gets a good jump. The outside line doesn't go, but it goes all right for Donnie Moore. And look at this, also on the outside, Chris Passini trying to power around Mike Allen. Battle is for third. Look at Passini get the run at 15. Go ahead.
Just behind him, it was a mess. So moving up the track there was Josh Banks. Kenny Kibbe, Robbie Robinson in a battle now, side by side.
Car, that's J.R. Shepard on the top side, trying to make that look. Meanwhile, there's a battle up front, ducking underneath. That's the old 26. He gets underneath Kurt Smith. Kurt with the momentum off top, back there looking on in third position. That's Passini. I've seen the top side work right now. Watch the momentum from the 9. Can he get a good drive off of 4? Boy, he gets a run, but it's going to be Moore that gets credited with leading the lap as he has a head start into the first corner. He's going to lock down that position, and now trying to capitalize. Here comes Passini.
What a hornet's nest up here right now, Soup.
Oh, Kurt Smith is stuck on top, and nobody's letting him in, and that includes the 59 of Mike Allen. No room in the end. Mike says you're stuck up there.
Boy, Zotner is back here with a monster run, Soup, right up under the 59 of Mike Allen. Zotner just on the hammer right now, trying to get this passed on Kurt Smith, stuck up there on the outside. They are side by side, wheel to wheel, into turn 1.
Zotner in the white number 76 machine. And finally, Kurt Smith is finally going to be able to tuck in front of Joshua Banks. Look who's stuck. Look at that blue 98. He's stuck on top, and he lost a position to Banks. That's J.R. Shepard. And now it's the 14 of Kenny Kibbe underneath him. Great racing going on up front. All of this going on behind Donnie Moore, who's not able to pull away from Chris Passini. Oh, in the wall is Smith.
Yeah, and he wrapped it. J.R. Shepard gives him the chrome horn, gets him a little further out of the way, moves him up the track.
Great racing going on. Mike Allen in fourth position is going to lose a spot. That's Nick Zotner. That's who Sean saw was coming. Zotner now up into third.
And man, that's another one for Zotner. The New Yorker is humming right now, looking for the bumper of Chris Passini. Here he rolls. Couple of New Yorkers and a New Englander up here in the top 3.
Oh, Passini looks really good as he had a good run on the back of Donnie Moore. Zotner is also fast. Banks, our port leader, has worked his way up into 5th behind Mike Allen.
Soup, the top 5 is occupied by drivers from clubs that are from modified country. I mean, it's in their blood. They've been to modified races, and they're digging now. Zotner trying to get this done on Passini.
The Z-Man had a great run out of 2, could not finish it, now out of 4. Look at the run off the corner. Passini holding that line. Zotner peeks to the inside. Joshua Banks has got around Shepard. Here's the move now. Zotner underneath Passini. And I think Zotner is going to get the job done here going into 1. Let's see if Passini can get the run on the top side. Banks now makes another move, moves up to 4th in front of Mike Allen. Joshua Banks leaving J.R. Shepard behind, his nearest points rival.
Yeah, J.R. finally getting the pass made on Kenny Kibbe back there. They're in the second group. Kibbe lays the chrome horn to J.R. Shepard.
Let's look at that second 5. There's good racing up front, but let's watch Shepard and Kibbe. Kurt Smith has got it going straight now back there. Robbie Robinson back in 9th. Right on board with Kibbe. Better go to the lead right now, peeking in. Here it comes. This is Zotner diving into 1. He dives it in deep. Donnie Moore on the top side is not going to be able to get the momentum off. A new leader in his previous race winner, Nick Zotner. Passini's going to go underneath too. Some great racing here in the Outlaw Modified Series. Oh my goodness.
Brought to you by the Cruise Shop. And I'll tell you who's cruising. Nick Zotner, man. He's got a rocket ship tonight. That SK is just running, baby. I'm impressed with the way it can turn. He's really able to get that car to turn in. Keep it down there on the yellow line. All the grip in the world and a great exit. He just flies off the turns.
Look at this. Moore Moore, who was just your leader a second ago, has now fallen back to 4th position. Zotner, Passini, Banks, Moore, Allen. Sean talked about J.R. Shepard. Yes, he was able to get around Kibbe and has left Kurt Smith behind. So now Shepard in the hunt.
Boy, could we have a new rivalry developing here, possibly between Nick Zotner and Chris Passini? Couple of New York SK modified wheelmen, and I wonder, man, that's bragging rights are important when you're a New Yorker, Soup. Remember that, okay?
You got it. You can see the blue car at the top of your screen there. That was Shepard taking a peek, seeing if you can find anything on Mike Allen. My goodness, I know we have somewhere to go next week, but in the words of the great Chicago Cubs, Ernie Banks, let's play 2. Can we come back here?
Can we run another 80?
Can
we run another 80 after this one? Jeez. That's a couple of cautions. They got it sorted out now, Soup, and we're running, baby.
They start to settle down a little bit in the front. Let's quickly go back and talk about the Baker's Dozens position. That is James Lowe in 13th. Brian Dean is in 12th. He's fallen 2 spots. Those drivers looking to get the regrid for next race to be on the pole.
Soup, you see who's sitting at the back of that train? Our new favorite driver there, Tijuana McGuire, the number 83. By the way, that nickname has been wholeheartedly approved, Soup, if I hadn't shared that with you yet. So.
Oh, that's good to know. We always worry when we do that because sometimes people don't take it in the spirit it was offered, but I'm glad he'd enjoyed it there. Hey, let's go up to 5th right now. Oh, and that's Shepard who got a little bit loose. I'm sorry, and it's Kenny Kibbe who's going to get the spot on the multi-time champion, number 98, J.R. Shepard. Is this track too big for J.R.?
Well, J.R. got a little, he got down a little bit low down on that bottom line, and the car tightened up on him and started to roll around. He had to get out of the throttle and allowed Kibbe to take advantage of him, Soup.
I asked him in the last interviews. We look back at 9th position. Oh my goodness, look at this one. That's Forster on the low side. That's the 99 of Robbie Robinson. Robinson gets a good run out of 2.
66, Soup. Oh, and he gets tipped. The 66 is around. No. Oh no. And Soup, I think we cursed the poor chap.
Well, I inverted the number and he wanted to loop the car around so that I wasn't wrong. I appreciate that. Look at that.
That's a shame. They were in the middle of a really good battle there. And trouble to find something. He didn't wreck the car too bad, but you know what? Now he did. And actually, Robbie decides to bring his SK down and get the spare car off the trailer.
You know, they need to put a little line above or below the 9s and 6s like they do on billiard balls for those commentators that are intellectually challenged. Just a thought for iRacing.
Just a thought?
Build. Yeah.
Hashtag soon. All right? We'll get them working on it. Hashtag soon. That's nice. That was a good one from our director there.
The director. We don't need that kind of stuff going on. Taylor Burris getting the wave around.
Well, somebody's got to get it, Soup, and we're glad Taylor did. So there you go. He gets another shot here to get back on the lead lap.
Well, it gives us a second to catch our breath. So how about Nick Zotner, 7th to the 1st position? Chris Passini, not that much difference, 6th to 2nd. Joshua Banks, he won last time out. He started in 12th, has worked his all the way up to 3rd. This guy's good.
Yeah. He is. He's pretty good. I think what we're seeing is some of the guys that showed up last season, Soup, and of course you weren't here with me last season. that guy's on the track right now, Taylor Burris. We wish him the best. But no, Soup, what we saw some new talent come into the series who had kind of a feeling out process and maybe even had a little bit of bad luck trying to find their way here in the Outlaw Modified Series. Now, what's happened is those guys have started to run a little bit better, and we're starting to see them near the front. Guys like Joshua Banks, who's been around a bit now, Chris Piscini, who's started to come on just a bit, and Kenny Kibbe, who has continued to be in the mix week in, week out. That number 14, very, very fast Michigan driver. Soup, I honestly think we're broadcasting for the Bootleg Racing League at a time right now when there's some really, really exciting turnover going on, and some new guys that have come in and have really, really injected some life into the series. I mean, Soup, we got 24 SK Modifieds tonight. That's a great field for the Bootleg Racing League. They'll take that any day of the week, and so will we. What a blast broadcasting this. Here we go. Everybody getting lined back up here. The lights are out on the pace car. We're ready to go, Soup.
4 races in and yet to see a wire-to-wire race, and that's something that was, while the racing was always good, the wire-to-wire was not an uncommon event. All right, our pace car is going to pull itself in. The pace car peels, and so does the roar of the engines as Nick Zodner leads them across working lap number 39. Bassini is going to be able to tuck down into second. Points leader Joshua Banks in third.
Get the accordion out in the back of the field on that restart. Brian Dean seemed to get them all stacked up just a bit. Old Jewel TJ McGuire fighting for a spot back there along with Justin Allen.
Boy, it is some tight work going on back there. Look at them coming at you. Action all through the field. 2 by 2 by 2 like animals getting on the ark. Can we go up to 6 real quick? This is J.R. Shepard, but I'm telling you, giving him a hard time on the top is Kenny Kibbe in that 14. Shepard finally gets the job done.
Mike Allen's got to get that car back down the track. Don't leave it open for JR. He does. JR's got a nose in. Mike able to get a little power down the back straight there. Soupy's able to hold him off. That was something Mike was doing good earlier. He was able to hold off JR. Let's see if he can continue to do that. Wheel-to-wheel battle just behind them, though, is Forster, Kurt Smith. They've been locked up since the drop of the green here on this restart.
Forster Lowell on the low side. The pole sitter, Kurt Smith, on the top side. That is a battle for 7th position. And right now it's Forster, but coming out, the momentum's going to go to Kurt Smith, who's going to get credit for leading the lap. I believe it's going to go to Smith by a touch. Great racing going on back here. Some bumping and banging. We're still racing. Oh, you know what? It was Smith got together with Forster.
Yeah, they've been working it. No, here comes the 21. Here comes John Hine. He got a little bit of contact there with Kurt Smith. Kurt Smith getting roughed up a little bit right now, Sue.
John Hine started in 23rd, up 13 positions right now, racing in 10th in that car number 21. Tijuana McGuire back there on the inside, making a move on Brian Den.
Dean got to be trouble. He's got to be careful. He was the meat in that sandwich for a moment.
All the action is back mid-pack right now as the front runners have all single-filed themselves out. Good battle between Dean. You see it right ahead of you. That's Dean on the top side. The 3 car is Lowell Jewell.
Remember, Lowell started all the way at the back of this field, Soup. He's done a pretty good job of moving his way up here through.
Right now, the Baker's Dozen position would like to pick up one more spot, find himself on the pole for round number 6. Working lap 47.
47?
All this going on behind Nick Zotner. Chris Bassini able to stay right with him. Let's go to J.R. Shepard. He's going to dive underneath. I think he's going to pick up the position on Mike Allen. Oh, Mike says not so quick, former champion. But Shepard is not to be denied.
Soup, we got a lot of people watching tonight. I'm going to give a shout out to the fans of Riverhead Raceway, who I am sure right now are pulling for those two guys up front. Zotner still just outpacing Piscini here at the moment. Soup, I don't think we ever really talked about Zotner's iRating, that special ranking in iRacing. It kind of it shows what kind of chops you got. Zotner is a 6. Oh,
going
what do we got?
around
Oh,
and they got together. Let's see if we can find it for you.
Hine.
It was the 21 of John Hine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was poor John Hine and TJ McGuire. Soup, I might have spotted netcode on that one. I don't know if they made contact. Now, where's Hine making contact with the wall coming up the exit? Maybe ever so slight. Hine's going to get away with that, I think. I think he's going to be okay. I don't see any damage on the car. We'll take another look at it from above.
And this is where you lay the blame, whether your background is, and you can see he was banging off the wall. That's what opened the door. Whether you're a road racing background or an oval racing background. Yeah, there's some ghost contact. Now, if you're a road racer, you're saying that there was no presentation by the car on the inside. But if you're an oval driver, you're saying, I got my nose in there, and that's all I need.
Wow. Now we're less than 30 to go. It's like, what happened to this race all of a sudden? It's only 80 laps, right? So remember, folks, that's what we're doing this year. Week 4 is rotation week. Those will be 80-lap races at longer tracks. And I think the next one on the schedule, well, no, Lowell hasn't announced a schedule yet for Season 2, so I don't know. But
so there's only one rotation? This is only on round...
round 4. Round
okay.
4 is the rotation week, and, well, I heard a rumor that it might be a track in Virginia. So, okay. the next one, so we'll see.
VIR, they're going road racing, huh?
Possibly. They tried that at Lime Rock Park years ago in the Whelen Modified Tour. They ran an event there, but it's too costly for these modifieds to set them up to run a road circuit. They're just really not built for that, especially with the way they're offset and the way the weight is the weight is balanced and offset to basically designed to turn left at speed, at high rates of speed, like we're seeing here tonight. You're traveling into the turn at almost 120 miles an hour in this SK Modified.
So, Sean, I want to see if I can tap into some of your history with this car. Now, I'm an open wheel fan, and I've grown up in Indy, and the cars always change. We always get the new Delaras coming out. Is the specification on these SK Modifieds? Would a car from 20 years ago be able to compete on these, or does the technology change on these as well?
Well, okay, so 20 is probably a little far out. The good news is that you could probably use a car that's somewhere 10 to 12 years old, okay, on the SK Modifieds. The SK is a unique car. The Tour Modified, a little bit different, but there are a limited number of manufacturers for these chassis, Soup. One of them, of course, is Troyer chassis, which has been around since the early 70s, founded by the great Maynard Troyer, who was a modified champion himself. And Troyer, one of those famous chassis builders out there. But much like Indy cars, Soup, you have a limited amount of chassis suppliers, and that's basically where you fall. These cars are very specific in how they're designed, how they're engineered, and certainly how they're set up. And they have a very specific set of regulations that they have to follow, much like NASCAR. So, yeah, unlike back in the day, they're maybe a little bit more cookie cutter than they used to be, but they're awful powerful and they're awful fun to drive. And we're about ready to get driving them again soon.
They're putting on a good show for us tonight. Nick Zochner up from 7th. He's going to get in control of the field, and he gets the jump, and he's going to lead the lap. Cassini on the outside, the 36 of Joshua Banks, your point leader, takes it in there. They go 2 wide out of 2. Let's see who gets the momentum. It's Cassini on the top. It's Banks on the bottom. Cassini does get a good drive off of 3, but he can't 2, but he can't finish the job. They go through 3 and 4, and now the advantage goes to Joshua Banks. I think he's going to finish it. Watch out for the number 98 trying to look underneath Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore was leading for a while. Look at this racing going on.
Kimmy. Kibbe gets the run at Shepherd, and then he's giving up ground here. Got to be careful.
Banks is able to finish it now as he gets this thing. Look at that coming at you.
Kibbe left the door open back there, Soup, and now it has allowed Mike Allen to come on in.
Going underneath Kibbe now. That is Allen. He gets it behind him. That's Kurt Smith. Chris Forster in there. There's Tijuana McGuire in the 83. They bumped. They banged. Shepherd has worked his way up now into 4th position, getting around Donnie Moore.
Yeah, those two were at it for a little bit, but oh, a mistake there by JR again. He does it again, Soup. Gets the car down a little bit too low, got out of shape. Opens the door for Moore. Here comes Donnie Moore rolling through.
Moore trying to get the car to bite out of 2, cannot do it. Shepherd's going to be able to hold him off. There's a 1-car cushion between Banks and Shepherd, your point leader, and that is Chris Passini in 3rd, but Passini is not happy in that position. He is well within striking distance of Zottner and Banks, who race 1-2. A great train as he behind these guys for like 6. Allen, Kibbe, Smith, Forster, McGuire, Lowe, Jewell, all next to each other. It goes all the way back to 15th position with Todd Liston. Oh man, if you were a two-dimensional fan right now, you would not know where to look. Action everywhere.
Yeah, lots of action indeed. I almost saw some contact there between TJ McGuire and Chris Forster. TJ does a good job of rolling out of the throttle just enough to avoid the contact. But Soup, you talk about this train, it's like Friday afternoon, maybe 5 o'clock, 5:13 in the afternoon, Penn Station, the long train rolling out to the east end of Long Island, I think.
Trains are often on late, you know, they're not always on time, and neither are we. What time is it, Sean?
It's time to drop down that old disco ball from the ceiling, light her up. It's an all skate. It's time to boogie. Let's get this race going. Get us a good party here at the finish.
Here we go with 17 laps to go. Zottner, Banks, and Passini.
This race kind of getting away from us, Sue.
Oh my goodness.
The laps are just disappearing.
I want to take it quickly to 12th position. This is Lowell Jewell in the number 3. Brian Dean in the number 23, trying to get that spot. And look at this. Here comes the car on 14 of Justin Allen trying to dip underneath. Why does this matter? That's the transfer position for pole position for next round. Right now, the old guy has it, Lowell Jewell.
You better quit calling him old. I'm going to get a nasty email. He's going to send me the nasty email, and I'm going to have to say, so, Lowell's upset.
Zottner beginning to pull away from Banks. Banks may have used it all up to get to second and ran out of stuff. Passini right on his tail.
Listen, Zottner's been fast since that first green flag dropped. Yep. I don't think they have anything. I don't think they have anything for him now. That car is just hooked up, man. And well, it's either hooked up or he just really knows how to drive it around here. One or the other, or maybe a combination of both. But I don't think they're catching Zottner here.
They coming around. There'll be 13 to go. They start to single file now. Things are settling down a bit. Let's go back and look at this battle for 13th again and 12th. This is Lowell Jewell. We talked about it. It's the transfer spot. They are side by side. Brian Dean wants it. Lowell Jewell has it on the top side.
Yeah,
trying to make a stick.
I'd have protected that bottom line a little bit more if I'd have been Lowell, to be honest with you. I don't know if he wants to be in this fight with Dean.
Gets a good run out of 4. He'll get credited with leading the lap. Look at him make the middle line work there. He gets another good drive off. And you know who says, hey, I kind of like that line? Justin Allen says, that seems to be working. I'll try that too. He tries to get around Brian Dean.
I think you're right. And you know, a bit of a surprising night from Liston back there. The 87, who we're used to seeing a little bit more up at the front of the field, really kind of languishing back here in the middle of the field all night, Sue. Boy, Dean riding all over the back of Lowell Jewell at the moment.
Not missing anything. This is the best battle for 12th here, and it's an important battle. Everybody else single file right now. Jewell in the 3, looking to sit on the pole next round. Brian Dean, if he can't get that spot, he'll have to be gridded in 13th spot. That is so important. And now he's got to run out of 2. Let's see if he dives it in deep. He takes it in. Lowell's going to leave him room, but again, the bite off of 4. The number 3 has momentum. Not going to work. If I didn't know better, I'd say the racing line has moved up a bit. Hey, let's go to the lead. Remember, Zottner was driving away? Joshua Banks might have just been sitting back there saving his stuff, because now he's only 2 car lengths back and still 8 laps to get the job done.
Well, he sent it in pretty deep there into turn 1, Soup, and Banks starting to look like he might have a bit of a handle on it. Look at it, he's getting the car to stick down there on the low line. Good exit there off of 4.
Zottner the winner of round 2. Banks the winner of last round in Martinsville. Bassini back in 3rd, still looking for his first win. He's going to have to get going there if he wants to be part of this one. And Sean, we got to remember the point of no return here. You can't wait until the very end. You got to worry that a yellow flag will end it early.
Yeah, we're not far from it. These caution periods have been kind of long, Soup. I think here in about another 2 laps we've hit it. Maybe even one more lap. I think we may have hit that point of no return. 5 to go at the line as they come off of turn 4.
Don't need to go there. I'll just update you that Lowell Jewell was able to fend off Brian Dean for the transfer position comfortably right now. Dean's falling back, but the action is up front. Oh, going really high as Zottner. I guess that's his racing line, but it took my breath away. Joshua Dean back behind him, hounding him, stalking him like an ex-romantic flame that doesn't like the prefix. All over the back of him right now. Look at him take it in deep.
All right, here comes Bassini. Now Bassini's coming into the picture here. He started to ratchet it up just a bit, just in time. It'll be 3 to go at the line.
Banks looking for a way around, a car length back right now. Zottner going into 1.
Ooh, that was contact.
Oh!
Oh,
And he turned
he tipped him. There goes Bassini. Bassini's going to win this race.
Hit me once, I'll save it. Hit me twice, I'll save it. Hit me 3 times. I've got to go around. We will have no repeat winner here today. Look at this. Bump and then bump.
Yeah, he turned him, Soup. There's not much else to say. He turned him.
I hesitate to say that, but it's hard to describe it without saying he turned him.
Hey, listen. We should call it like it is when we see it like it is.
But wait a minute. But scoring position, Banks has been scored in the lead. Did the yellow come out? No, he's there, but I don't think.
I was looking at it from above, and I honestly thought Bassini got by him before the yellow actually displayed. I could be wrong, Sue.
The white is out. I believe it is going to be awarded to Joshua Banks. And
that's wasted excitement on my behalf. I'm sorry, race fans. Screaming Bassini's going to win this race.
Must confess, I do not know the actual rules, how they will handle it. We will call Joshua Banks the winner, and then tune back in with us next week to see if he actually gets those points. Coming around out at corner number 4.
We should make the IRT have a press conference on this one.
Well, he's first to the checkered flag. It is Joshua Banks. Chris Bassini gets 2nd. J.R. Shepard settles for 3rd. And a quick look at Nick Zottner. He's going to get 7th. And a bitter taste in his mouth. 18 drivers on the lead lap. The transfer position did go to Lowell Jewell as Brian Dean was not able to do it. He remains in the Baker's Dozen spot. The racing is over here in Florida, but our broadcast is far from done. You might want to tune in for the interviews. We're going to be back in a few to run down the entire order and talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. Sponsored by the Cruise Shop and sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League, this is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Outlaw Modified Series. Round number 4 here from USA Speedway. Let's give you the finishing order right now. Well, if at first you don't succeed, bump and bump again is the rules for Joshua Banks as he picks up the win. Chris Spacini is going to get second. Both Sean and I and the director thought that Pacini was able to get that win. There's another guy who might be complaining as we thought he got around before the yellow flag comes out, but iRacing says, no, you're in second. J.R. Shepard gets the 3rd position. Donnie Moore led for a little while. He gets 4th. Mike Allen rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10. Kenny Kibbe, Nick Sottner. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be hard sleeping for him tonight. Tijuana McGuire in 8th. 9th is Chris Forster, and James Lowe gets 10th.
All right, Soup, let me run out the rest of the field here. Kurt Smith with an 11th place finish. Not a good finish for Kurt, unfortunately. Lowell Jewell moving up into that transfer spot. Guess what, Soup? Lowell's going to be on the pole next week. So he went from last place starting position this week to the pole next week. I see what he did there. Brian Dean with a 13th place finish. Justin Allen, 14th. 15th for Todd Liston. John Hine, 16th tonight. Ernie Brown in a number 2, finished 17th. Taylor Burris making his debut with the series this evening. He'll finish 18th. Robbie Robinson, 19th for him. 20th going to go to Dwayne Burns. I'll take the rest. Dustin Powers, 21st. 22nd to Matt Shinosky. Mark Herzog, 23rd. And Tim Shinosky there at the end of the field this evening. An unfortunate evening for him. It ended early. 24th place for him. But Soup, you, I believe, have the winner.
I do indeed. It's 2 in a row for Joshua Banks. Joshua, what are your thoughts?
Well, let's just put it to you this way. I don't feel honestly great about it, but I'll take the win. But I should have raced him out, and I apologize publicly to Nick about that. I was going to try to get around off of turn 2, and my bumper was a lot closer than I thought it was. I knew I was tight, but I didn't know I was that tight. But it happened. I can't change it, unfortunately, and hopefully we can go in through next week with clean hands.
Got it. I want to ask you a question. Are you able to think big picture when you're, I know it's got to be hard. You're racing, you got enough to worry about. But do you ever peek at J.R. Shepard to see how you're doing in relationship to him during the race?
Oh yeah. I definitely watch and see where he's at and how we race. I mean, I'm not going to race him like an idiot like I did tonight with Nick and obviously that. But I'm going to try to race him clean, but also just keep an eye on him, and it just hopefully we can do pretty good.
Were you a little worried early on that we weren't going to have enough green flags laps for you to make it through the field? We were yellow early. It must be tough if you're trying to pick up positions. They won't let you race.
Well, I mean, if you just take your time and wait for the opportunity to strike, and we know JR is really good, so we just have to take what advantages we can get. If he slips up or if he's up on high, and if he got a hold, take it. Just don't be stupid doing it. But yeah, thankfully we got some green flag runs there to spread out and get some good racing in there, and able to see who was able to, gain positions and who was stalling out. So it was a pretty good race overall, though. So I can't complain about that.
I'll get you out of here on this one. Were you surprised that iRacing you awarded the win? We really thought Piscini might have got around you there.
Yeah, I thought Piscini had the win after the caution came out, but when it said for me to go by him, I was like, I shouldn't be really in this spot right now. But they did it. I don't know why. I guess up my nose was enough, and that was it.
All right. Well, congratulations on 2 in a row, and you spread your points lead out a little bit. See you down the road.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Banks, our winner. Sean, who you got?
Soup, I have Long Island's own Chris Piscini. Chris, you were that close to a win. Not tonight. How you feeling at the moment?
Feeling all right. At that point, with maybe like 10-5 to go, I was only either matching their speeds or losing a little bit. So I was hoping to kind of just tag along, and if something happened, be there to pounce. And, unfortunately, the yellow didn't display for me until I was going into turn 3, so I thought I had it, and then they told me to let the 36 by. So
yeah,
that was unfortunate.
You're going to watch the replay, and you're going to see that's kind of what we thought too. We thought you had it. Boy, I know you'd love to get that Eastport Feeds SK Modified, the number 15. You'd love to get that classic in the victory lane. You got Dr. Martha Baker back on the car this week, and we love to see that. I love to see that. I'm a fan, so it's totally cool.
Absolutely.
We got to get Wayne watching these races. Has anybody made a call over to him and say, hey, would you mind tuning in and checking out your car on the track?
I've tried messaging him on Facebook, but, that's probably never going to happen. So.
Right. He's still
typing. Always worth a shot, though.
I know, and he's still typing all of us in all caps. It's like, Wayne, you don't have to use the caps. You don't have to shout at everybody. Hey, listen, Chris, congratulations. You're getting a little closer every week. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
Hey, give a shout-out to the fans real quick, because we've got a lot of people, actually, from the island watching tonight.
Yeah, well, it's always good to represent. I was the panini was a little undercooked tonight, but hopefully next week we'll go.
Soup loves that.
Just
Thanks,
for you,
Chris.
Soup.
We'll see you next week, buddy.
You got it.
I think I'm over that. I think I got that one licked. All right, so there goes Chris Piscini. I get to talk to J.R. Shepard here. My goodness, J.R., you got a lot of championships, but I don't know if you've ever had to work harder than these first 4 rounds. 3rd place is good, but man, you're working hard.
Yeah, this car, I don't know what's different with it, set up or something, but man, these cars are extremely tight to drive. So, keep getting caught on the outside on a lot of restarts and trying to race hard to get position, and it's just not working.
Let's talk about the racing line there. We thought maybe the outside line was coming in. Was that your take on it, or did it not work for your car?
It could work. But it seemed like it would only work when you were out in the open racing somebody. So if you got bottled up, the inside line was definitely the place to be.
Was it kind of fun to race on a bigger track?
Yeah, I enjoy the bigger tracks. These cars require a lot of momentum and keeping that momentum going through the corner. So the bigger tracks are definitely fun. Maybe we'll go to some more in the future.
I'll get you out of here with the same question I asked your nearest points rival, Joshua Banks. When you're racing, do you do a little scoreboard watching? Do you keep an eye on Joshua during the race, or are you too busy?
Nah, I'm just focused on my race and the guys I'm racing around.
I knew that would be your answer, man. I knew that. I felt silly asking it. Hey, congratulations on another podium. That only means, though, you're going to have to work hard again when we regrid you for the next round.
Yeah, thanks, man. And I give a shout out to Nick tonight. He ran a great race, led a lot of laps, very impressive. And of course to the cruise shop for everything they do, sponsoring us this season.
And there you have it, J.R. Shepherd, our third place finisher today. We're gonna do one more, Sean. Who you got?
I got Lowell Jewell. Gonna talk to the boss right now. You know, Lowell started this race all the way at the very tail end. Charlie, you call them, Soup, and Lowell, you're gonna be starting to pole next week. What is this all about? Is this new strategy by you?
No. Well, when you miss 2 weeks and you start 24th, you have goals like, let's finish in the top 12, and man, I had to fight for it.
It's great. Hey, listen, it's great to have you back, and you made it back for the transfer weekend. Boy, this was an exciting one tonight, man. We had a lot of action going on track.
It was good. It was a lot of fun racing with Brian and the others, and it's a little hard to pass, but once you got in there, you could make it happen. You just, like JR said, it's a momentum car. You can't be sliding the tires.
Right. And every time you're scuffing those things off, and you can hear that in the simulation, folks, for those of you who don't actually aren't an iRacing member, you can hear that. You know when those tires are going away from under you, whereas if you don't have like a full motion rig, you can't feel it. You can definitely hear it, and you know that you got to make adjustments to your line. What kind of an adjustment do you generally make when that starts happening?
Well, I close one eye or the other. It depends on how late in the race we are. After a while, the tire squeal starts to sound like fingernails on a chalkboard. You just hate to hear it. Every lap you hear it.
Well, Lowell, you'll go back. You'll watch the replay. You'll listen. You'll hear just crazy accusations of you being, well, let's just say more mature than others. And I don't agree. I think you've still got plenty left in the tank, buddy. We're glad to see you back on track.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's Lowell Jewell. We'll see him next week from the pole, Soup.
That young whippersnapper will be starting up front. That'll be fun to watch. Hey, how about we thank everybody at the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified Series on contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more information about BRL, try facebook.com bootleg. Okay, it's facebook.com/bootleg racing league or bootlegracingleague.com.
There we go.
I got it. Okay. I've been doing this for a while. I can do it. Watch me not. I can do this next one too. I can blow this. Thanks to the series sponsor, the Cruise Shop. Now you can call them at 260-755-6125 or visit thecruiseshopfw.com. I actually did that today. I gave him a call, wanted to talk to Brenna. She was actually organizing a cruise. She was hosting a cruise, and she couldn't talk to me, but she'll be back, and give her a call. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software we use to stream cyberspace into your place. The original music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Eckelman and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. The Bootleg Racing League, I got it, returns for round 5 in 1 week. It's Super Bowl Eve. That's going to be from New Smyrna. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. Don't go to Old Smyrna because we won't be there. Sliding across the screens now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, and who wouldn't, you can go here, globalsimracenchannel.com, or check us out on social media. 3 options: Twitter, GSR Channel; Facebook, Global SimRacing Channel; and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Also, if you haven't done so yet, what's taking you so long? Go become a YouTube subscriber by hitting the big red button on our YouTube page. And finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean, Joe, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Joshua Banks picks up his 2nd win of the season here from USA Speedway. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.